Hello, and thank you for joining us today for the webinar, Mindset of a LeAgile Leader, presented by Suhail Iqbal. Suhail is a civil engineer by profession and a veteran PMP since 2002, holding all the 8 certifications of PMI in addition to Prince 2 practitioner and complete series of Scrum certification. He is a regular keynote speaker in Pakistan on PMI and other noted events. Suhail also holds 35 plus years of construction and project management experience in Pakistan Army Corps of Engineers, NADRA, and SysCom International. Without further delay, please help me welcome Suhail.
Hello everybody, this is Suhail, your speaker today. I very warmly welcome all of you on this session, and I hope that it's going to be useful for all of us. So the topic today is mindset of a lean agile leader, project leader, and this is not the first time I'm talking about lean agile. I actually had read a paper back in 2015 in Orlando in PMI Global Congress, and that was related to the use of lean agile in construction industry, which was a difficult subject, but the main thing which was accomplished there was the connection the lean and agile can have. So what we proved there was that the combination of lean and agile in project management is possible. But the problem was the delicate balance which was to be kept between lean and agile. Any slightest variation in understanding can destroy the whole concept of synergy which we are trying to create from lean and agile. The main thing is when, where, and in what proportion we have to do it. That is exactly why the subheading of this presentation is mixing the magic potion. Only if you can put these two things in the right balance, in the delicate balance, only then that can be useful. Otherwise, it can, both of these things, lean and agile, can cut each other, which is not good, definitely. So this topic, the purpose of this discussion is to discuss the possibility of a project leader using both lean and agile, both of them together, and taking the advantage of both while maintaining this delicate balance which I just described to you. In these headings, like I will be introducing the main topic to you, then I will be giving you some historical linkages and background from where all these things are connected and what is the research paradigm behind it. Then I'll talk a little bit about the mindset itself. What is the mindset, from where this concept has come up. Then we will come on to the definition of lean and agile and how it is difficult to have this delicate balance meeting. Then we will talk about separately the project leader's characteristics of a lean project leader and an agile project leader. And finally, we will try to establish a mindset of a lean agile leader, and ultimately I will conclude. So my main purpose is to get you to a lean agile project mindset. So as far as the introduction is concerned, I will take you from the basic research on mindset by neuroscientist Dweck. That was back in 2006, when she said mindset is basically how you perceive your realities. So your intelligence, your personality, and your character will give you a fixed mindset. It is what you have learned, what you have experienced in your life becomes what you are, and you start expecting the world to be revolving around you. That is called a fixed mindset, which we'll talk more about it. But she also says that there is yet another kind of mindset, which is a growth mindset, which does not get fixated on your own experiences, but is open to more research. Another researcher, Linda Rising, gave another concept in continuation to the growth mindset, and that was of agile mindset. But As far as agile is concerned, most of the times it is connected with the software industry, and that's why this concept is more adopted in software industry. My own research was on a wider domain of connecting lean and agile earlier, but this time what I'm talking about is lean agile project leader. There is another researcher, Sahuta, in 2014. He said it is not the lean or agile practices we need to focus on, but the lean agile mindset or culture. So that's what we are focusing at. Historical linkage, let me start with lean, and that will make you understand what we are talking about. First of all, lean is focused on value. It identifies values, then it identifies and establishes how the most efficient and effective value stream can be created, and then how can we give this value to the customer when required. Customer can pull the value whenever required, and we also want it to be pursuing the perfection or continuously improving. So we want to focus on the value, establish the value stream, be able to get the customer, pull the value out of it, and we also need perfection. This was the research of Crookley, and then Womack and Jones. They also talked about it. They said we want to do something less and give something more. It's talking about more efficiency, giving customer exactly what they want, satisfying the customer. That is our main goal. So we want to satisfy the customer, and we want to be efficient also. We are, working smart. So that is what lean is. But you see, the focus in lean is on value and not on speed or flexibility. Now, once we talk about agile, you will see that agile has got a different focus. According to Highsmith, agile is an ability to balance flexibility and stability. We want to deliver, but at the same time, we want to remain highly flexible. And by highly flexible, we mean that we are accommodative of customer changes all the time. We welcome them, and we behave like a servant leader to our own team. According to LeAgile, agile is discussed in a perspective of lean. Now this is interesting because this is the first connection we ever have seen between agile and lean, and here agile has been made subservient to lean. So according to him, lean will give value, but we will accommodate agility, flexibility, and speed within the broader perspective of lean. Well, this is debatable. First of all, yes, we do have a very good justification of relating agile and lean, but at the same time, why should agile be accommodated within the perspective of lean? That is the big question. Should it be done like that, or should we do otherwise? Or maybe we can try to strike a balance between the two, a very delicate balance which I am talking about. Agile is the implementation of lean thinking. This LeAgile continues to say in his further papers in 2008, and he explains it in the way that lean is what to do and agile explains how to do it. Well, to some extent, I tend to agree to that, but we will see how we can establish a more delicate balance from these two things. This was as far as the lean and agile are concerned. Now coming over to the mindsets. I'll talk about the mindsets in detail, but for the time being, I'll just give you a summary. Mindsets by various researchers. First, we have fixed and growth mindset by Dweck. Then we have agile mindset, which Linda Rising has explained in her research at multiple times, and she has extended the growth mindset into an agile mindset. Then we have got Stephen Covey, Stephen Covey talks about abundance and scarcity mindset. And there is yet another, person from the production side, that is Agrias. He says there are two mindsets in an organizational perspective. These are the productive and defensive mindset. And what we are going to be focusing on, but where we want to land is lean agile mindset. And that is the delicate balance we want to. So coming over to the mindset, right? So talking about the mindset, first we need to describe what a mindset is. According to Wikipedia, it is a set of assumptions, methods, or notations held by one or more people or group of people. So this is our perception. A mindset is our perceptions, how we look at things. So everybody learns from his or her own surroundings. Therefore, the mindset or the perspective of every person might be different from the other person, and everybody thinks that he has or she has the right perspective, whereas none of these perspectives may be right. It further explains that these beliefs are so well established that people or groups continue to adopt or accept prior behaviors, choices, or tools. So this is the rigidity which takes us back to our experiences and allows us not to learn anything new. So we need to have some kind of flexibility here. According to dictionary.com, it is an attitude, disposition, or mood where attitude is an established way of thinking or feeling towards another person. So we have our own, perspective about another person. If we think he is a bad person, we will create that idea in our minds and we will never look at that person from another perspective. But we need to be flexible. We cannot live on a rigid perspective all our lives, and people change, environment change, our knowledge improves, and therefore our mindset also evolves and changes. That is exactly what Dweck had said in her book Mindset. She has elaborated this specific kind of natural mindset as a fixed mindset. This is a fixed mindset that everybody thinks that whatever they have experienced is the ultimate. On the other hand, she also talks about another mindset, and that is the growth mindset. In growth mindset, Dweck talks about improving, being flexible, being able to learn more things and accommodate other ideas into your life. That is the only perspective in which you can grow and you can learn further. So what Linda did, Linda Rising, she took on the growth mindset and improved it into an agile mindset, because growth and agile almost work close to each other. First, let me describe what Linda says about the fixed mindset. She says fixed mindset thinks or assumes that intelligence cannot be altered. Well, from many perspectives, this might be true, but intelligence is not only the IQ. There are a lot many other types of intelligences, and if IQ is somehow fixed, then emotional intelligence, social intelligence, and several other intelligences are alterable, are learnable skills. Believing in your intelligence and doing nothing about it, this is the fixed mindset that you do not want to learn any further, and you are proud of what you know, and you think that there is nothing beyond this small world in which you are living. So that is the fixed mindset, which we are in no way advocating. We are talking about the agile mindset, and here Linda says intelligence can be improved, and that is exactly what we want to believe and we want to exercise. We always want to continuously improve ourselves, our organizations, and even our intelligence, our knowledge. Improving continuously upon whatever intelligence you have, that is the sole purpose of every human being. But believe me, no matter how understanding you are, there is a very stubborn child hidden right inside of you who is always of a fixed mindset and follows a status quo. And we want to get out of that mindset and get into a growth or an agile mindset. Coming over to Stephen Covey, in his 7 habits of highly effective people, he talks about abundance mindset and scarcity mindset. In abundance mindset, he says, this world is so wide, so whole, that there is something for everyone in this world. You don't always have to compete with others, but you can find your own way out. And there is always an opportunity to have a win-win for everyone. If some of you know about the blue ocean strategy, that is exactly the same thing. Why are we fighting in the sea where everybody is, slaughtering everybody else? Why can't we get into other open seas where there is no competition? So we must start with an abundance mindset, and only then we can have a win-win situation. The scarcity mindset is called zero-sum paradigm. We are always fighting with the other party, and either one has to lose and one will win. So everybody cannot win. This is not a win-win situation. So keep in mind this abundance and scarcity mindset also while we are reviewing all kinds of mindsets, and you will see that we will land up to a desirable mindset for a lean agile leader. Then we have Chris. Chris talks about the mindsets of organizational perspective. He talks about a productive mindset and a defensive mindset. Now, a productive mindset from the organizational perspective is something like a growth mindset of an individual perspective. That is, it focuses on knowledge. You achieve and grow your knowledge, continuously improve it. It is based on logic. It is based on certifiable results, decision-making mindset, and transparent and auditable. Whereas the defensive mindset is closed mindset, like a fixed mindset. It is self-protective. It is not for the benefit of the organization. It is for the growth of a person, personal growth only, not the organizational growth. So the person is only looking after his own benefits and not considering the organizational benefit. And naturally, this is not for a project manager. Project manager is always linked to the strategy of the organization. Whatever he is doing, he is satisfying or fulfilling or being aligned with, remain aligned with the organizational strategy. So personal growth matter and defensive mindset is not for a project manager. So we are talking here about a productive mindset from organizational point of view. Now, I have given you the basics about various kinds of mindsets. Before that, we have talked about what is lean and what is agile. Naturally, I have not gone into a lot of detail about lean and agile, but at least I have shown you that lean talks about the value and agile talks about speed, flexibility. Now, how can we put these two things together? Yes, if we look at the jagged edges, we would see that lean and agile are not exactly a match for each other. They might be facing opposite directions, but how can we create some kind of synergy between lean and agile? So what is that delicate balance we want to achieve? You see, lean and agile may clash, definitely, because when I'm focusing on value, I am not looking at flexibility. I am focusing on value. If I want to attain a specific value, I may waste some time in doing that. I may not be that flexible. So here we have a clash. One may try to subordinate the other, as you have seen in a previous research of Lecture, that he says that agile is subservient to lean. Well, we did accept it for the time being, but we are competing with it now. We are saying why. Why should Agile be subservient to Lean? Then we are focusing on only on value, and we are using Agile mindset only for specific benefits of Lean. What if Agile is more important to me? What if speed is more important to me? Why should I not strike a balance? Then we have need to achieve a state of equilibrium, which I am just telling you. Mindset balance, take the better mindset from each group. So we will take the best of the best. All the mindsets we have studied, we will review all of them and find those mindsets which suits us in both the environments of Lean and Agile, and the chosen mindsets are not going to be exactly the same. We will add the element of Lean and the requirements of Lean and Agile in it, and we will try to come up with a Lean Agile mindset. Before we do that, we need to understand the characteristics of a Lean and an Agile project leader. An Agile project leader. What does an Agile project leader do? As you understand, here we are focusing on, this Agile project leader is a servant leader. He is not the person who is leading the people from the front. He is the person who is with his people, and he is enabling people to move ahead, and he is making it possible for the whole group to move. So he has to be very self-aware. He must know where he is going, where he is taking his team. He should be highly flexible, because the customer and the stakeholders, they will exert a certain kind of pressure. I am not going to oppose my customer or my stakeholders, but I have to be highly flexible, accommodative of them. Rather, I would treat them all like bosses all the time. And therefore, I want to accommodate everything they say, and at the same time, if I need to do that, it is not only the physical agility is required, it is the mental agility also required. Then I should also be able to produce results. I must be result oriented. Very difficult job to be highly flexible, accommodating everything, and still being able to produce the results. And naturally, in Agile project management, we do have means to do that. We do things in very small iterations, as if some results are yielded and they are recorded. And then we keep changing things and keep producing results in that way. So he is a servant leader. He is a facilitator. He does not order his team to do something. He facilitates them. He makes it easy for them to do their job. And all the control of the work itself, of the activity, is with the team members. So this Agile leader is a people's person. This Agile leader is a project leader, manager who is following agility, must follow the Agile manifesto and its principles, which I'm not going to go in detail right now, but far and wide, these characteristics which we have just discussed, this encompasses them all. Now, what are the factors of learning agility? According to Swisher, as we have discussed earlier as well, we have to be self-aware. Self-awareness is one of the factors for agility. The person should know where he is going, what he is doing. Then he should be highly flexible as far as mental flexibility is concerned. Mental agility should be there. Then, because he is a people's person, people agility should be there. And it is not only, we are not talking about the team, project team, we are talking about the stakeholders, we are talking about the customer, we are talking about the team members. With everyone, this project leader has to be highly agile, and he doesn't have to be docile with them. He doesn't have to be a short-tempered person. He is to be a very pleasing person who is accommodative for everyone. Then he is a change agent also. So as far as the change is concerned, he is also highly agile. He is easily moldable. And he is also producing quick results. So very quickly, in very short intervals, you are always being result oriented, and your results are agile as far as the world sees it. So this was agile leader. How do you feel a lean project leader should look like? What does a lean project leader do? His focus is on value. So he follows the 5 lean principles. First, he specifies what value he wants to achieve. So identification of value and specification of that value is determined first. Then he determines how to achieve that. He establishes a value stream. He plans for it. He plans for that specific value to be achieved through a mechanism, and then the value flows through it. He pumps in the machine in action and value starts flowing. He does not deliver the value to the customer himself, but he makes it possible for the customer to pull value out of the system. The value is being generated and customer pulls the required value when and where required. That value is pulled out by the customer at that specific time. So customer is always fulfilled. He always gets what he wants. And ultimately, we keep improving this value stream and we keep trying to meet the perfection level. So this was the 5 principles the project leader must follow. So you see, he has to be very dedicated in following the value stream, its flow, and also you have understood that continuous improvement is a major factor here. In this process, this lean project leader goes through a number of activities. Some of those activities are, adding value to the whole system. Some of these activities which he does may not be exactly adding values, but they are helping, they are enabling those activities which are adding value. So that is also not bad. But there are certain activities which are a complete waste. They are not adding any value. They are not enabling any value addition at all. So these are the wastes. The project leader, if he knows what these wastes are, he can put his machine in action and try to eliminate these wastes. So I have just shown you in this slide, there are 7 types of waste: the transport waste, inventory waste, motion waste, waiting waste, overproduction waste, overcasting waste, and defects. So all these wastes, if we can identify them, we can reduce them, and if we can reduce them, the waste is out of the system, and therefore we are left with only the value addition and enabler activities, and we are focusing on continuous improvement this way. So this will give you a very clear picture how a lean project leader looks at improving value. Now, having the characteristics of both these types of project leaders, an agile project leader and a lean project leader, we will try to deduce which are those things which can be joined together. And for that matter, I would say that lean mindset is particularly designed for the production industry, whereas agile mindset, its roots are in the software industry, but we are going beyond that. We are trying to join them together for a system where it can apply to all kinds of systems. And as I said before, that in my previous paper, I have talked about using lean and agile in construction industry, which was a very difficult target because lean can be applied to construction industry very conveniently. But because the product or the output or the deliverable of construction industry projects are very visible. They are, the requirements are very clear. Therefore, making the system agile is comparatively not possible. But at the same time, I wanted to reduce the word impossible, and we tried to find how agility can be introduced into an already lean construction mechanism. And we did some work on that as well. Anyways, moving on to a lean agile mindset of the project leader, we must understand two considerations. As we have already seen how a lean person works and how an agile person works, try to understand agile emphasis is on speed and flexibility. And this emphasis should not affect the value stream or result in waste. If this flexibility we are trying to create is producing some kind of waste, or it is not being effectively managing the value stream, then that flexibility and speed is in contradiction to the basic principle of lean. So that is a non-starter. Similarly, lean emphasis on process improvement and minute observation of value and waste should not sacrifice speed. We should not be, micromanaging things, and we should not be, overemphasizing on the value and, reduction of waste, that we lose flexibility, we lose our speed, we lose time. We don't want to do that. So we have to very clearly define some kind of mechanism, some kind of mindset in which both lean and agile characteristics are aptly catered for. So to do that, let us look at the common traits of a lean agile leader which should be there. First of all, a lean agile leader must be able to maximize the value and minimize the waste. Naturally, this is something that came from the lean side of the project leader. And at the same time, he must be able to manage time as an asset. Manage time as an asset. No matter how flexible it is, but if it is done in smaller iterations, that is an asset for him. And he is, tying value to the time. And the simple thing is, if you can remove the focus from the product to time, then you start making things agile. Establish a culture of continuous improvement. We have seen, although continuous improvement is an integral part of lean as well as agile, lean has more emphasis on continuous improvement. So we have to, cultivate a culture in which we focus more on continuous improvement, enable safe failures. We do not want to experiment with the things. If at all we have to be agile, we have to be very careful. We have to do a lot of proper risk management to enable safe failures. Even if there is a failure, that should be, in other words, a very well calculated risk. We also want to have increased predictability. That is exactly what I was saying. We have to do a lot of proper risk management. So we need to be able to predict. We have to be proactive, proactively adapt to the change beforehand, and strive to achieve measurable results early and often. Why early and often? Because we want that our project be agile and be run in small iterations. So if it is in small iterations, the results would be produced early and very often. You see, we are accommodating agile in a lean environment. So we have to go both ways. To accommodate lean, we have to do some adjustment to the agile. To accommodate agile, we have to do some adjustment to the lean. So both of them have to strike a delicate balance, and ultimately we would say this is the right mix. This is the magic potion we want. So what lean agile mindset does come to our mind. Now let us mix up all the mindsets we have just studied and try to see which matches our requirement of a lean agile mindset. First of all, we don't want to go for a fixed mindset. We need a growth mindset. And that growth mindset, as we have already concluded, that growth mindset has grown out into the agile mindset. So this should be an agile mindset, which is in the organizational perspective, productive in nature, and also must carry value for all. What do I mean by all? I mean all the stakeholders, my customer, my stakeholders, my team members. So here what I am doing is I am trying to be highly accommodative to all my stakeholders. So the characteristics of a lean agile leader in this perspective should be, we have already discussed, he should be a change leader. Yes. He should be value driven. It is not a basic characteristic of a agile leader, but a lean agile leader must also be value driven. He must also be waste conscious. He must also be process oriented. But naturally, this process orientation would be aligned with the time slots, with the iterations. He must be able to achieve measurable results for every iteration. The results should be achievable and measurable. He keeps the stakeholders engaged and satisfied all the time, as we have seen that PMI for the last 4 or 5 years have given special emphasis on stakeholder management and engagement. And from 6th edition of PMBOK, we are seeing an agile section for every chapter. So you see, agile is coming, whether you like it or not. Stakeholder accommodation is already in the air. It has bifurcated out of the communication and now it's a full-fledged knowledge area. Agile is now going to be part of every knowledge area. So we have to keep our stakeholders engaged and satisfied in a lean agile environment, communicate regularly with them, proactively adopt change. We do not have to fight change. We proactively adopt change. We should ask for change. We should ask if any improvement can be done. We should be predictable. Smaller the life cycle, the iteration, more predictable we are. If we are working on 6 months phases, then probably we cannot be very predictable. This is too big a time to be predictable about. If I have got 1 week iteration, I can be very much predictable. I know how much I can do. Then we understand our agile leader is a servant leader. So a lean agile leader must inherit that capability. A characteristic, he should be a servant leader. A servant leader only facilitates his team. He is a people's person. He is going to be a highly flexible who can think on her feet. That is exactly required from such kind of a lean agile leader who should be able to quickly decide. The decision must be on the fly, and only then we can target for an effective and efficient environment. So the project leader, lean agile project leader, must be efficient and effective on the whole. This leader must not only be learning things fast, but he must be enabler for others, his team members, to enable their learning, to facilitate them, to provide them the most suitable environment in which they can work. So this is my 2 pennies worth about a lean agile mindset. And naturally, I do understand that this is just an idea I am coining in front of you. And ultimately, we are going to see a lot of research going on in coming years, because right now, the whole focus is on agile. People are not really talking about the relationship of lean and agile, but I can predict right now that looking at these various mindsets, also touching upon all the characteristics of lean and agile, the suggested lean agile mindset, which I have suggested, is a good start for future research. So I am opening this ground for you to discuss. Right, there is a question from Paul Cray that changing our current personal and corporate mindset takes specific steps or sequence to achieve that objective. What suggestions do you have that would help us and our organization to achieve a more lean agile mindset? Very good question, Paul. Paul, actually, there are two things here. One is a personal mindset and other is an organizational mindset. The fixed and growth mindset we talked about, or the agile mindset we talked about, that was more towards the personal side. As far as the organizational mindset is concerned, you see, the productive mindset and the defensive mindset, that was the organizational mindset. First of all, at personal level, we all have to agree to use either growth or agile mindset. That is the first step. You have to get out of your fixed mindset, and only then you will be able to, be receptive to the new knowledge. And I know and I understand that most of our people are receptive to knowledge now. On the other hand, organization is just like a human being. As human group of people change, organizations change. But by simply changing your mindset individually, it does not change the organization. There are other things in the organization which work to glue all the people together and have a collective mindset of an organization. So probably we have to have some kind of learning and enabled organizations where the environment is created, where people first of all develop their own mindsets at their end, and then at organizational level things start moving towards a lean agile mindset. But you see, this has to be somewhere in the policies that we have to adopt these characteristics in a project leader. Only then this mindset can grow. Then we have got Shankar Govindaraja. I think he says, I think it is an idealistic situation and very difficult to achieve. Very right, very right. That is exactly why I'm discussing it with you. If it was so easy, people would have adopted it everywhere. But you see, in parts, in bits and pieces, these things are happening around us. But at the same time, they have not happened as yet in unison. You see, lean manufacturing is happening, lean construction is happening, agile development is happening. So all these things are happening, and how many of we do not know that Kanban works almost on the almost on the same principles as Scrum does. Many tools are common, but naturally I do understand Kanban is more oriented towards lean, whereas Scrum is agile. But what is the distance between the two? The bridge is very easy to create. We can always bridge these things together, although difficult, but yes, it can be done. There is no impossibility about it. Let me see other questions. Amy Laura, question is, I have development group who claims they are agile, but a company who also claims they are lean. Neither is the case. So how can two get results when they have to be together? Lean project, that must be agile. Right. First things first. Many organizations claim many things. Here in Pakistan, I see more than 80 to 90% of the software industry, they vehemently claim that they are agile. But I do provide trainings, I do go to audit them, and I find that their practices are not even 10 to 20% agile. So claim does not make an organization agile or lean. But yes, on the other hand, there are organizations who are practicing these things very well. Now, how can we do it together? Well, only those organizations who understand lean or agile better can think of going the extra mile. How can you expect an organization who is neither lean nor agile and suddenly it becomes lean agile? It is not possible. Moreover, if somebody is working on wrong concept, claiming to be lean or agile, and they want to be lean agile, it is not possible. First, they have to understand. As I was explaining, I explained what is lean and what is agile. So if somebody doesn't know that, how can they combine it? So that is the answer to that question. Then we have Tina Crotty. Are these 5 lean principles focused on manufacturing? I haven't seen them for software development. Very right. Most of the lean practices are developed for manufacturing industry, but they are not only for manufacturing industry. Agile was created for software industry, but now Agile is being used almost in telecommunication and many other organizations. I have seen the practices are converting to Agile. Similarly, lean is created for manufacturing, but it is being used outside. So we are trying to, flexibly orient these concepts outside of their parent companies, parent industries. So we have to get them out from there. And Kanban is a very good example of using lean in software development. Then we have Yusuf Karadman. How we can apply lean agile mindset in construction? Well, probably you have to read my earlier paper, and that was in PMI Global Congress North America 2015. And the topic was leading construction industry to lean agile project management. That would probably answer most of your questions, but I can't go into detail of that right now. Mukesh Sharma, when we try to club agile and lean, with our velocity go up or down in short term, that is one of the compromises. Your velocity, if affected, then must be contributing towards the value. If you are reducing the velocity without increasing the value, then you are not going to be lean agile. Then you are harming the sole, the primary purpose of agile is being harmed if you are affecting your velocity without increasing the value. But if there is a compromise between the two, then it is okay. Elijah asks, how is that time affected in lean agile? I don't understand the question. Manoj Punwani says there is a conflict here. There is inherent waste when are we delivering repeatedly and often, as things need to be reworked and improved. Manoj, you see, in Agile we do not rework. We work in very small iterations, and every iteration, whatever the result is produced from that, say 1 week or 2 week iteration, that is either accepted or rejected. The whole iteration would be rejected, but if it is accepted, then it is like a phase of project being completed, a very small phase, but a phase of project is completed. Iteration doesn't mean we are repeating that process again and again. Iteration means that we are dividing our project into very small slices, and every slice is like a very small project of 1 or 2 weeks. So we are not reworking it all the time. Srikanta Konanur, question, are these concepts industry specific? I said no. We are getting these concepts out of the industry. They were created for specific industries, but they are not industry specific. John says, in your experience, do you see traditional project managers successfully transitioning to become agile and are lean project managers? Of course. You see, as I just gave you an example, PMI is shifting gears. It is, as I said, it has accommodated the stakeholders. It is now accommodating agile in full flow. And be rest assured that this agile movement will convert the whole project management into an agile machinery. And ultimately, lean is going to be getting married to that. And we will ultimately have the lean agile thing. So better we wake up now. David Harry, is there any recognized certification on the market that combines lean agile? Not so far, not so far. What is a safe failure? This is a question by Stephen Lobo. Well, in simple words, it is a calculated risk. It is a very well calculated risk, and the waste or the damage is possibly the minimal. Possibly the minimal. The big risks I have not taken. I have taken the smaller risks and I was ready for them. That is a safe failure. So that doesn't harm us more. Moreover, if I am starting working in very small iterations, then I am not causing big damages. If at all there is a risk which occurs, then only to that small slice, to a small little thing, that is a safe failure. How best these concepts can be used for construction? This we have talked about. I have been Subhadeep Dasgupta. I have seen lean being used in IT, project management and IT organizations. So what difficulties do you see in integrating lean and agile in IT organizations? For IT organizations, probably they are the best candidates to accommodate lean first. Rather, they have already started doing that. They are using Kanban with Scrum and with agile tools. So that is almost there. But it is difficult for other industries to adopt that. You see, the journey from manufacturing industry to software industry for lean was simple, because you were going from a tangible good to a kind of intangible deliverable. But the journey from agile to, the software industry to other industries is going to be difficult. Last question, Mukesh Sharma. What is the best way to avoid conflict during implementation of lean agile? Well, this is going to be an experiment. You have to experiment with it. And the suggestions I have provided you, probably they are the best to guide you in the last slide. The lean agile mindset, they will guide you what things you have to take care of to avoid this conflict. I hope that is done.
Thank you all for your participation in today's webinar. As a reminder, the recording and presentation will be available on projectmanagement.com, and we'll see you all next time.